Okay, next experiences. This is the experience of experiences for me. This is the next set of experiences. I don't know why it happened like it did, but this is the fun one. So, I go to bed one night. And I think it was the second night I was there. And I'm laying in bed, and I'm thinking about the Sasquatch that my uncle saw. And thinking of how dark and scary it is in that forest. And the guy that went missing. And all of a sudden, it was like midnight, and my mom and dad were sleeping. It was like maybe midnight. No, it was 1 or 2. And I'm still awake. I just can't sleep because I'm so excited. And I'm thinking about the Sasquatch. And you look at the lake at night, and across the lake, you look at the forest that goes on forever. And you're like, wow. Wow. Man, would I hate to be in there right now. Scary, but fucking awesome. Exhilarating, right? I'm 10 years old. I'm just like, wow, my first time in the first deep bush, right? Well, not really, but I'm at a cabin with my family. But still, you get to feel it. And so I'm going to bed. It's cold, really cold at night. Not real cold, like snowing, but it was cool. And so I got the blankets over me, and I'm snuggled up in the blankets, and it's so nice. And you have full belly, you know, and the fresh air, just cool fresh air. And all of a sudden, the loons started wailing on the lake, right? Now, loons make different calls, but when they wail at night, you hear them wailing, and I'm going to put some loon calls on here so you can hear the wailing calls, and just picture yourself in the middle of the forest, in the middle of nowhere. It's pitch black at night, and the loons are wailing, and it echoes off the forest walls and off the rocks and off the water, and it just takes your soul away, right? So I'm laying there and I'm listening to this loon wailing. Across the lake, and another one calls back and it wails, and then they wail back and forth for hours, right? Then they have a little call there, a little loon call. Just listen, you'll hear it. And so they're wailing back and forth, and then there's this one wail where it's just prolonged at the end, and it hits this one note, and every time that loon hit that note, my whole body tingled, right? And I'm just like, oh, that note, and my heart went, oh, just beautiful. And I got tingles like all over. Like it freaked me out, like how many tingles I got. I'm like, what the fuck is happening to me, right? And all of a sudden the loon, and then the tingles would go, and all of a sudden the loon would go again. it made that one fucking note, and my whole body just went tingles, just all tingles. And so I'm laying there, and I'm getting waves of tingles. Waves of tingles. My whole body is tingling. And I'm just, my heart is just like whoosh, whoosh, whoosh to this loon call. And I'm like freaking out. It was all perfect. It was all beautiful. It was something, it was a lifer. It was a life experience. And then I'm laying there, and the loon keeps wailing, and it's like right outside the cabin. And it's silent. It's fucking silent. All you hear is frogs and crickets and the fucking loon wailing. And when it wails, it echoes. Echoes. And then one way on the other side of the lake, its mate calls back. It calls back. And we heard wolves one night, but these ain't wolves. And you'll know. And so it's wailing. I'm getting waves of tingles. My whole body's tingling. And then I'm laying there, and I'm just totally... And every time my heart went, oh, I just sank into the bed, like relaxed even more. I'm like, this is fucking magnificent. This is magnificent. And I'm laying there, and then the loon will stop calling. I'm laying there going, wow, wow. And I just sort of drift to sleep. And then it wailed one more time. And it wailed. And then the next thing I know, I was like half asleep when it wailed, and I woke up at the loon. I'm like laying there, and I'm looking at the loon. I'm right face to face with it, right beside it, and it's moving, and it's moving, and I'm moving with it, and all of a sudden the water went like this above my eyeballs, and I came and I told myself, stay above the water, stay above the water. So I'm just sitting there, and then it wailed, and it fucking wailed, and I'm like, oh my god, and you can see its throat through that thing, and it was nighttime, pitch black. It was just me and the loon. And I couldn't see anything else. It was just me and the loon. And then I woke up back to my body. I woke back up. What I did was I astral traveled, right? And I astral traveled to the loon. It was just spontaneous. It was like I heard it and I was there. And I woke up at the loon. And then I'm like, wow, was that great? I'm waking up and the loon's still calling, the one I just heard. I'm like, oh man. Then I'm laying there, and I'm thinking, oh, I can imagine being a Bigfoot out there in the forest or whatever. I'm thinking about Bigfoot. And no, I was thinking about the guy out in the forest who died. Yeah, he died. The guy that got lost outside Wawa. The radio said he died in a lake called Dog Lake. So he died in Dog Lake, and they found him there. They found his body there. And I'm talking, what? No, fuck, he didn't die. He didn't die yet. They're still looking for him. That's right. Sorry. He was found dead in Dog Lake, but he was still alive at this time. They're still looking for him. So it was like he was in the bush for like 2 days at this point. And I thought, that poor guy, he's lost out there. And I looked across the lake at the forest, and I go, he's out there somewhere, man. And it kind of freaked me out, kind of scary. And the loon's calling, I'm getting tingles, my heart's bleeding out. And just then, I fall asleep. And as I fall asleep, I wake up, and I'm at a lake. I'm at a side of a lake. And it's a lake. And all of a sudden, I'm looking, I look, I hear something move, and there's a guy. He's got like a plaid shirt on, long sleeve shirt, sort of like this, but more plaidier, and whatever that means, bigger squares on it. And he's crying, he's pissed off, and he's swatting at the bugs, and he's crying, he's pissed off. And he's at the side of the lake too, and he's crying, and he's smacking the fucking bugs, and he's throwing water on himself, but he's freezing because of what, it's so cold out there. And I'm looking at him, and I'm going, he's fucking screaming at himself, you know, he's just going insane from the bugs, biting mosquitoes and black flies, and he's going absolutely crazy. And from the bugs, And I'm like, dude, I'm yelling at him. I'm like, cover yourself in mud right now. Cover yourself in mud. Like, take the mud from take mud, smear it on your skin, and let it harden up, and the bugs won't bite you. They won't fucking suck you dry. And they really do. They suck you dry. I'm covered in red dots from the black flies. And this guy's out there in the middle of the night freezing his ass off, covered in mosquitoes, like for 2 days now. And he's screaming, he's yelling, and my heart's going up to him. I'm yelling at him, cover yourself in mud. Cover yourself in mud. Cover yourself in mud. And start a fire. Get a fire going. Like, at least I know, get a fire. You know, I'm 10 years old. I know enough to make a fire. It's the first fucking thing you do when you're in the bush. Start a fire. Especially if you're lost. And cover yourself in mud. Because I did that every time I got bit by something. I'd put mud on it and it'd go away. It would soothe it and draw out the pain as it dried. Draw out the infection or whatever. So anyway, I'm down. Put mud on. And then I think he jumped in the lake. He was jumping in and out of the lake. And he was just going, yelling at himself, screaming. I mean, he was not even making any sense to me, what I was seeing. This guy, he was just screaming at everybody and everything and himself, going fucking crazy. And then I wake up in the morning, and they found him dead in Dog Lake. So what they think happened was he jumped in the lake to get rid of the bugs, mosquitoes and the black flies and deer flies. They're a lot of fun. And just stayed in the lake because he couldn't deal with the bugs. And he got hypothermia and died. Just drowned from hypothermia and stuff. So it was like I don't know if it's suicide or not. But anyway, better than getting eaten alive by bugs. But anyway, that was one experience, and that was me with Loon. I asked to travel to the guy that was lost and watched. I didn't watch him die, but he was on his last few hours when I saw him. Anyway, that's that. This next one's really cool. So the Loon, and I'm like. And I felt like I was gonna cry in front of the guy. So I wake up. I'm thinking about the guy, and all of a sudden I'm thinking, well, fucking, how does Sasquatch live out there with all that, right? And then the Loon calls and hits that certain note, and I get tingles all over. So I lay awake for seems like 15 minutes or so, thinking about everything. And it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I start falling asleep again. And the Loon calls, and boom! I asked to travel again. I don't even know I asked to travel. I just wake up there. It's really weird. I'm just instantly there. And I'm standing, and I'm looking. And it's nighttime. And I'm in a forest. And there's trees. Big, like old growth trees. Not huge, like, old growth. But they're big. They're big ass trees. Big pine trees. And trees like that. And I'm standing there. And it's night. And you can see black and dark blue, like ambient blue, really dark ambient blue. And I can see for a few feet some ferns on the ground, and the ferns and needles, tree needles, pine needles from fir trees on the ground, sticks, and the odd ferns around. And I'm standing beside this tree, and I'm looking, and I'm like, wow. So I must be in a deep forest, right? This is what I'm thinking. I go, I'm in the forest across the river, right? That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, wow, this is what it's like to be out in the woods at night, deep in the forest. So I'm like, wow. And all of a sudden, the tree went and moved out, and I'm like, what the hell's that tree doing? I looked over. I go, the tree's moving. And I look, and it's a tree. It's as big as my waist, as big as my body now, almost. And it's covered in fur. And I looked down to a great big foot, and it was And I'm like, fucking Bigfoot! And I'm like, oh, wow! I came back to my body so goddamn fast. That's all I saw was a leg and a foot. One leg and one foot. And it was brown, just brown, Sasquatch brown, man. Holy shit. I was wide awake in my bed. I'm like, oh, my heart's fucking pounding. My fucking heart was pounding. Holy fuck. And I'm like, I just astral traveled to a fucking Bigfoot. I didn't know astral travel. I was 10 years old. I didn't even know what was going on. So there you go. I know it's astral travel now, but to me back then, I was just there. I didn't even know I was there. I was just there. I don't know how I got there, but I'm perceiving it. And I know it wasn't a fucking dream because I wasn't a dream. I had nothing ever. The only thing I ever had was when I was like playing Superman at the ceiling in Chatham, where I was astral traveling, making myself fly around the ceiling because it was fun like Superman. Holy shit. So there I am, standing right there beside, I'm basically leaning against this tree going, wow, why am I here? What am I supposed to do? And all of a sudden it went, moved out. And I'm like, holy fucking Sasquatch. So I astral traveled to a Sasquatch. I only seen was his leg. And I wasn't sitting down, I was standing up. Well, I was standing up, I was standing beside it, and the tree went like leg, knee, down, Bigfoot. And so basically, the Sasquatch, he must have been just standing there in the forest listening and looking around. And here I am. Some kid comes astral traveling right up next to him. So that was cool. And the loon pulled me out of my body. It was the loon calls, the tingles. My heart went whoosh every time I hit that note. And that note triggered all these tingles, and my heart just exploded. And I'm like, this is heaven. This is fucking heaven. This is the best fucking thing ever, man. This is heaven on earth. And it was like my whole body just resonated to the loon call. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable, man. It's the best thing in my life. That was the best. Yeah, no UFOs though. But I went camping and it was age 10. I might as well put this in now because it's kind of whatever. I had a vision back in '93 when I asked have I ever been abducted by aliens, like physically. And it said at age 10. And I had a vision where I was driving down to Como Lake. We got out and went to the creek. Okay. Remember I said I went to the creek? So in the vision I went to the creek. But before we got to the creek, I was looking at the skyline of the trees in the sky, and there was a flying Coca-Cola truck with the trailer. It's a transport truck, and it was flying above the trees. And I'm going, in the dream, I'm going, why is there a flying Coca-Cola truck? I couldn't figure it out. And I almost didn't catch it in the dream. And then we pulled over, we all got out, and I ran to the creek to play at the creek. And as soon as I got down to the creek, it was like my mom calls, and I had to go back, remember? But in the vision, 93, I'm playing at the creek, and all of a sudden I see the Coke truck coming up the creek. Okay. Coke truck comes right up to my face, and I can see the grill. All of a sudden, like there's a symbol. I don't know what the symbol was. A round thing on the front of the grill of the Coke truck, and it opened up, and this thing came out. When it came out, and then another thing came out of that, and another thing came out of that, went right to my third eye, and went, and I heard it crack my skull. Like a needle came out and went right into my third eye, right between my eyes here. That's your pineal gland or something. So I figured that was a symbolic representation of them opening me up. But my spirit tells me I was abducted at age 10. So if I got abducted when I went down to the creek, because I was alone, But I got down there, I started playing and looking for crayfish and stuff like that, and I wanted to find mud puppies and salamanders and snakes and stuff. And I just started, and also my mom called, and I'm like, well, fuck, I just got out of the goddamn car. So if they took me there, they must have took me out of space-time and put me back. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can't verify any of it. The only weird thing about it was I got down the creek, I was playing, and I was just getting ready to play, and my mom called me back. I'm like, son of a bitch. So they could have snabbed me, took me out of space-time, put me back. And my mom calls, and the aliens can do all that shit. So, but I can't confirm it. The only way I can confirm it, and I don't even want to call it gospel, right, to myself, like I own it. But they nabbed me sometime. And also when I was at Como Lake, there was another time, because the road cuts between Como Lake, and there's a little creek river that runs from the lake to a big swamp, and the road cuts through it. Well, there's a river, a little babbling brook, and me and the kids went down there and played in the creek looking for crayfish and snakes and salamanders and stuff. And the only thing we got was leeches stuck to us. And I hated pulling them things off. Anyway, so we pulled off all the leeches, but they could have grabbed me there too. But in the vision, I felt like that was a time when we were driving up. We had that little pit stop on the side of the road. That was the only weird thing. Can't really put much to it. But they nailed me somewhere up there, according to my spirit. But the exact time and date, I don't know. It was at a creek, and there was like 3 times we were at the creek. Twice at Como Lake, those kids were playing there at the creek. And the one time I was down alone playing by the creek. So, I guess as good as mine for that. Then, one more experience happened. I got covered in so many black fly bites. Like I went to a bathroom and I changed my clothes and stuff for swimming. And I looked down at my balls. Covered. My wiener's covered, my balls are covered, my legs are covered. And I'm like, how? With red dots. And I'm like, how the fuck does a black fly get in there? Like a lot of them. I'm not running around naked. I got tight underwear on, and my mom freaked out, so I had to go to the hospital. Well, they went in to do laundry and everything, but my mom took us kids to a clinic, and the doctor looked at us and goes, "Yep, you got a little black fly bites. You okay?" I go, "Yeah," and he smacks me and says, "Good, you're fine. Go play." And he goes, "Don't worry about it. Every kid in Northern Ontario gets this." And he goes, "It's nothing." She goes, "Okay, good, thanks." One of the hardcore doctors, you know. He smacks me in the head. Goes, "How you doing, boy?" I'm like, "All right. You feeling all right?" "Yeah." "Go play." I never forget it. Like a fucking cool doctor, right? All this shit for nothing, right? My mom fucking freaking out thinking I got 10 different diseases from these black flies. Anyway, that was cute. That was funny. I like that. And that was about all the spiritual experiences I had there that really meant something. And I'll never, if you ever get a chance to go up to a northern lake in Ontario, you guys down south, take it. Holy shit, it'll change your life. Change your life. And listen to loon. Google, YouTube loon call. Loon calls. And listen. And for the right loon call, you gotta listen to Google on YouTube or whatever. And common loon whale call. Not whale as in ocean whale, but whale, like W-A-I-L. Alright, and then listen. There's a couple up there. I'm going to post the call on this video just so you can get a taste of it. But it's nothing like the real thing. There's a one note And when you hear it, you'll know it. Okay, later, guys.